Yo, sweaties, what's up? This is Jordan Anderson coming at you with a little recap of the DC Fandome that happened this past weekend on Saturday, and I'm just rocking out with my DC. Is only one of like three DC shirts that I have, but anyways, I just wanted to just give you the lowdown on everything that happened at the DC Fandome. And before I start, I wanted to show you a little sizzle reel that I made that kind of encompasses all of the best of the trailers that were released at DC Fandome. So I'm just gonna go ahead and let you watch that. So here you go.
beings on the other planets he's destroyed, right? And we have to assume he's won.
I don't care how many demons he's fought and how many hells. He's never fought us. Not us united.
And we're back. Hey, that stuff is pretty sweet. So I hope you'll bear with me. I'm recording from my camera. I got it propped up on a little stand here, so hopefully it doesn't slip on me. But I have a computer, but right now it's down. It's not working, so I need to get that fixed. And I got all my good editing software and cameras and everything on that. So in the meantime, I'm just gonna make do with what I can because the show goes on. I mean, you don't just stop because you don't have all your equipment. You gotta push through. So. And I'm going to go through all these stories and I'm going to break them down for you. And hope you don't mind that there'll be quite a few stories I'll be reading. I won't be reading everything, but I made some notes here just so I can make sure that I get all the information correct for you. So hopefully you got a chance to check out the DC Fandome because they replayed it 3 times. And so it was something that just blew me away. I mean, I've never been myself to San Diego Comic-Con, but I've been to quite a few other Comic-Cons. Salt Lake Comic-Con, Emerald City Comic-Con. I went to one in my hometown where I grew up in Boise, Idaho. I've been to a couple in Las Vegas. So, I mean, I love Comic-Cons, and so this just felt like exactly that. Just straight out of a Comic-Con, and the stages were just massive and just like so cool looking how they did it. And they had some really cool, unique artwork from Jim Lee. He pretty much drew most of the sets along with a few other artists from DC. So let's just jump in here. So, and all this information is in no particular order of how it was presented or anything, but I'm going to start off with the biggest news of the day. What we were all waiting for was the news on the Batman. So the Batman, we had Matt Reeves. He came out and he gave us quite a bit on Batman. He talked about the movie coming out, and actually right before Matt Reeves came out, we had Robert Pattinson. He showed up on screen and gave a little intro, and then Matt Reeves came out and he talked about the movie, but he also talked about the new HBO show that's coming out, Gotham PD. So Gotham PD, it's going to be set in year 1 of Batman, whereas the movie is going to be set in year 2. So, and they say that the series it's going to be an examination of the anatomy and corruption in Gotham City. Reeves says the series is a prequel, and his Batman Year 2 movie with a show set in year 1 when a mass vigilante starts to unsettle the city. And the series will zero in on the city's corruption that goes back many years, and says Reeves is told he says the series will be told from the POV of a crooked cop. So that's going to be pretty interesting. And then sorry, I had something pop up on my screen. That's what you deal with when you're filming on a phone. You got your notifications and whatnot popping up. But so, and then he showed us a trailer, and oh my gosh, that trailer, that frickin' trailer was just everything. It's so good, and I'm so hyped to have Robert Pattinson play the Cape Crusader, the Dark Knight, whatever, however many different names he has. But yeah, I am super excited. I mean, if you've seen any of his movies from The Rover to Hell or High Water, or just some of those more kind of indie type movies that he's done, he's really proven to me that I think that he can hold his own. So yeah, I definitely, if you're not sold on Robert Pattinson and you're still stuck on Twilight, like he's some sparkly vampire or something, I would definitely go online, go to Google Robert Pattinson's movies, or go to IMDb and just give some of his other movies a watch, because I guarantee you'll be very surprised. You'll be blown away. I know I was. So that was the Batman panel. One of the first panels actually of the day was the Wonder Woman panel. So we had Patty Jenkins. She came out, and And actually, the Wonder Woman cast came out several times throughout the night. They even had one time where they were playing games on screen with the entire cast. They had pretty much everyone, and put this game that's similar to Mafia, except for one person was the criminals, one was the hero, and one was the detective. So I thought that was fun. But we eventually got trailer number 3 for the Wonder Woman. So which blew me out of the water again. And there was another trailer that was just incredible. Like I'm so stoked for Wonder Woman, and that comes out soon. I think they say October 2nd of this year is when it's coming out. So I mean, they're pretty much done with production, done with everything on that movie, and so I mean, it is in the can. It's ready to go. So I am excited, and I know it's one of those movies I'm going to be there day one. And there's a lot of these movies I'm going to be there day one, coronavirus or no coronavirus. I'm going to be there, so I'm not going to get into my thoughts on coronavirus, but I'm not afraid to go back to the theaters, and I don't think that most people should either. But I mean, I definitely understand. So. A lot of these movies will be coming to VOD. I'm sure, like after probably just a couple weeks, because I know Universal made that deal where just 17 days, I guess, they can release their content on VOD. So within a matter of like 2, 3, 4 weeks, you'll be seeing this stuff pop up on VOD. So don't worry about that. And see the next panel. So they had Zack Snyder. He came out and he talked about his Snyder cut of the Justice League, and he talked about how he's going to be releasing them into 4 one-hour segments that's going to premiere on HBO Max. So I think that's awesome, because with 4 one-hour segments, you pretty much know you're getting everything Zack Snyder intended to be in the movie. You're gonna get everything, and I feel like if he were to just put it out in one 4-hour chunk, that'd be a lot for some people to digest in one sitting, and I don't think so many people would be as keen to watch the Justice League cut. But I mean, to split it up into 4 one-hour segments, I think is a pretty smart move, and it just makes it that much more digestible. I mean, me, I'm the kind of person that would sit down and watch 4, 5, 6. I mean, hours long. Like I don't care. Like I live for this stuff. So, but I mean, the average person, 4 hours can be a lot, especially when you have a busy day, a lot of stuff going on. So, yeah, so that's coming out next year sometime. They haven't given an official date or anything yet, so just watch for that. But he came out with a trailer for the Snyder Cut, and for me, I think the movie's going to be awesome. I think it's going to blow the first one out of the water, but the trailer I was a little iffy on. They used one of those pop songs again that was slowed down. I think they used the song Hallelujah, but they had it slowed down, and it seems to be a trend lately in movie trailers. They take these pop songs and they slow it down. The first time that I heard it was when Jordan Peele, he slowed it down for Get Out when he played I Got Five on it. So I think that was Get Out, or was it Us? It was one of those movies. But yeah. So and then I'm sure that they've done it a lot before then. But that's kind of where one of the times I started noticing it more in trailers. But the footage though looks pretty cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I think that the movie's going to be great. I just was a little like, I don't know, like, just thought that the trailer was a little weird. Kind of looked like a music video sort of. But I think the movie is going to be great. So, and then we had some video games that were released. So we had one video game that's going to be Gotham Knights. So Gotham Knights, that's going to be produced by Warner Brothers Games Montreal, and so it's going to be you're going to have Red Hood, you're going to have Nightwing, you're going to have Robin, and then you're going to have Batgirl. So you're going to have those 4, and then I'm sure there's going to be other characters as well that you'll see in there. But yeah, they're just in there, just like tearing up the streets, just like fighting some crime, and the graphics look amazing. The gameplay, they had a separate trailer that was about 4 or 5 minutes worth of gameplay footage. So all these trailers you can find online. You can go to the DC YouTube channel or the Warner Brothers YouTube channel to find most of these. And so, yeah, that's one that I'm stoked for. And one I'm even more excited for is from the creators of Batman Arkham Asylum. And I think that's Rocksteady Games. And it's going to be Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And that trailer was great. It had and all the great humor that you like to see from the Suicide Squad, but then all the violence and like you see that they have to go on this mission to go and fight the Justice League, and you see a funny moment where Harley Quinn's asking, well, who are we gonna have to go kill for this mission? And then all of a sudden you see Superman in the distance. He comes flying in, and then she just is like points over there. Him, and so they know they have to go after the Justice League, and they're like, "Oh crap!" So, yeah, I think that's going to be a ton of fun, and the Suicide Squad is huge. They have a huge cast of characters, so I mean, there'll be a lot of different characters you can play in that one. And then let's see, we also had the cast of Shazam came out on screen, and Zachary Levi. I love Zachary Levi. Chuck is just one of the best shows ever made, in my opinion. And he hosted the Shazam panel, and he wasn't really able to reveal much because they were really in the early stages of that movie, so he couldn't really say much. But they did give the title. So the title is going to be called Shazam: Fury of the Gods. So that's what they were able to reveal. So it's funny when Zach Levi revealed it. He goes, exclusive content, and he's like getting excited because I mean he can't give anything else away at this point. So that was the Shazam. That one was a pretty short panel. We also had James Gunn. He came out for the Suicide Squad panel, and he came out with the entire cast. So he was on screen, and that cast is huge. I want to say there's at least like 10, 15 characters in this iteration of the Suicide Squad, and that cast is stacked. That cast is like you have anyone from Idris Elba. You have Margot Robbie coming back as Harley Quinn, and you have just like a huge stack cast. I won't go into all of them. You can see, because what I'm going to show, hopefully you can see it there on screen, is the little roll call that they did. So yeah, sorry, I'm not always the greatest in recalling actors' names, but so bear with me. But yeah, the roll call that they did was pretty cool. All the stylized animation and that they usually have when it comes to the Suicide Squad. So that was fun to see. So I'm definitely a hype. Oh, here you go. So actually, good thing I make notes. So I actually have all the cast listed here. I'm going to read them off to you, so you'll actually know the cast. So you have Viola Davis. She's coming back again as Amanda Waller, and then Joel Kinnaman's back as Rick Flag, and those are from the first one. But then some of the new cast, you have Michael Rooker. He's going to play a character called Savant, and he looks cool with some long white hair, almost like dreadlocks sort of thing. And then you have Flula Borg. I love Flula Borg. He's so funny. He's a German actor. He's going to play the character Javelin. And of course, you have Margot Robbie coming back as Harley Quinn. You have David Dastmalchian. I think that pronounced it right, but he's going to be Polka Dot Man, which is kind of a unique take, probably the one of the most unique for this iteration of the Suicide Squad. Then you have, and sorry if I mispronounced this, Danilia Melchior, I think you say it, but anyway, she's going to be Ratcatcher 2. So sorry if I mispronounced any of these names, but Idris Elba, he's going to be playing in Bloodsport. Then there's going to be actor Steve Agee. He's going to be King Shark, and King Shark that character looks awesome. It looks hilarious. You see a little clip in the behind the scenes footage that they showed of the King Shark eating a guy, which I thought was pretty funny. You just see the legs kind of flailing as he's trying to swallow him whole. Then you have Mei Ling NG is going to be playing Mongol. You have Peter Capaldi from Doctor Who. He's going to be the Thinker. Then you have Alice Braga. She's going to be Sol Soria. You have Pete Davidson playing Blackguard. You have Nathan Fillion, which I'm stoked for. I love Nathan Fillion. I've met him before, and he's great. He's awesome. He's going to be playing TDK. You have Sean Gunn, of course. James Gunn got to put his brother, got to give him some love again. He's going to be playing Weasel. That's another hilarious character. You see a little shot in the behind-the-scenes footage where he looks just like an actual weasel that walks around on two legs, and you see him going up to this, like some kind of door at a police station. And he's just licking the door. It's pretty funny. And then you're going to have Jai Courtney's back. He's going to be Captain Boomerang again. And then you have John Cena, which he looks to be maybe the leader of this Suicide Squad. He's going to be playing Peacemaker. I don't know if he is, but he was very prominent in the behind the scenes footage. I'll just say that. So that was the Suicide Squad panel, and then you had the Flash season 7 panel, and they came out with a sizzle reel for season 7. Flash has always been a TV show that I've been really wanting to check out. Watch Arrow, watch like 4 seasons of Arrow, and I kind of gave up on it after 4 seasons, honestly. But with the Flash, is definitely one I want to check out. They focused a lot on the crossovers and the multiverse, kind of like going in depth on like what the multiverse is and explaining how that all works. And then they focused a lot on the moment when Ezra Miller met Grant Gustin, and actually revealed that's how Ezra Miller got his name as the Flash, because in the Justice League they never call him the Flash, so he gets that when he meets Grant Gustin, and then the two Barry Allens clash together. So yeah, that's definitely got me excited to go check out the Flash. Let's see. Then you had, oh yeah, so you had Andy Muschietti. I don't think he was there because this is one of the panels that I missed. But from what I heard, because it was such a short panel, meaning this whole event was 8 hours long, and obviously I tried to watch 8 hours. I probably hit like 7 out of the 8 hours, so I watched a lot. But Andy Muschietti's Flash movie, they showed the new costume, and the new costume looks to be kind of like a more classic style costume, a little more sleek, and kind of a little reminiscent of the TV show, I have to say, but a little more flashy. They have some lights and some little like lightning bolt things going through, some streaks of light going through the costume that are lit up, and they confirm Ezra Miller is going to be back to reprise his role as the Flash. So I don't know what all went down with that video that a lot of us saw come out where he was choking a girl, like that's a little sketchy. Like I don't know if it was like he was really doing it. I mean, it looked like he really was, but maybe they were just acting. I hope. I mean, my fingers are crossed that there's nothing shady going on, and that DC or Warner Brothers isn't just going to sweep that under the rug and just like have him star in this Flash movie. So I mean, I hope we eventually find out what happened with that, but maybe we won't. And it's just one of those things that we just never know. So who knows? I don't know. But moving on to the next panel, we had Black Adam. So you had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. He came out and he was in a cave. So where he was at was like a set or something that was made to look like a cave, or maybe he was in a cave. I don't know, in a real cave. But he showed us a first look at the Black Adam costume, which is cool because they've been talking about Black Adam for a long time. And I think Black Adam's eventually going to cross over with Shazam, and we're going to see Shazam in that. And so we got a little bit of the history of who Black Adam is, how he's kind of like a real, just like hardcore, no nonsense, almost like a villain, but he's a good guy also. Like he's just serious about justice, and he wants to bring people to justice. He wants to make sure everything's fair and right, and he's going to do whatever it takes, even if people get hurt, killed along the way. He wants justice, and he's going to do whatever it takes. And so, and then he also teased that the JSA, we're going to get the Justice Society of America in Black Adam. So he was saying that the first iteration is going to be comprised of Hawkman, Doctor Fate, Cyclone, and Atom Smasher. So, and apparently we got Atom Smasher in the Flash TV show. That's what a good buddy of mine explained to me. I haven't watched the Flash, like I said, but so we're gonna get those. So, and if I'm not mistaken, because I've always been a little bit more of a Marvel guy. I'm not as familiar with DC, but I definitely love me some DC, and I've read a lot of DC comics. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that the JSA is a little more old school, kind of more classic characters, but I am not 100% sure. You can correct me if I'm mistaken about that, but I mean, I'm actually kind of hoping that's the way it is, just to see some old kind of classic characters that have kind of like an old, what do you call it, like an old soul, old school feel to it. So I would be digging a vibe like that. Let's see. Then we had Neil Gaiman. He came out and he hosted a panel about the Sandman. And Sandman is really a character I'm not too familiar with. I did a little research because I come prepared for my videos, but Neil Gaiman. So if I'm not mistaken, too, he didn't bring it up or anything, but I'm pretty sure Joseph Gordon-Levitt was once attached to star and direct a version of the Sandman. I wasn't sure if it was for TV or movie, but that's something that I'm really disappointed that never happened, because I love Joseph Gordon-Levitt. He's a great actor, but Neil Gaiman, he said that the story is going to start in 1916 for a brief moment, and then it will flash forward to the present day, and the story is going to continue from there. And to give you a little history on who the Sandman is, if you're not familiar with him, the main character of the Sandman, his name is Dream. He's also known as Morpheus, and he goes by some other various names too, but he's one of the 7 Endless. So there's these characters called the Endless, and the other Endless are Destiny, Death, Desire, Despair, Delirium, which is formerly known as the Light, and Destruction, who's also known as Prodigal. So those are your Endless there, and then the series is famous for Gaiman's trademark use of anamorphic personification, so kind of like giving human traits to like inanimate objects and that type of thing. But then also it's going to have various metaphysical entities while also blending mythology and history in its horror setting within the DC universe. So it's going to have a little horror in there too. So it's not going to be all horror, but it's going to definitely have some tinges of horror in there for sure. So that's something that like I'm definitely interested in. I'm definitely so. And let's see. Oh, and then they also released an audiobook version of the Sandman. That just came out. So that came out on July 15th, and you better believe that's something I'm going to be picking up, because the voice cast is pretty stacked for that one. They got some pretty big names to do all the reading of the book, and the voice talents are James McAvoy as Morpheus, Kat Dennings as his sister Death, Andy Serkis as Matthew the Raven, Michael Sheen as Lucifer, Riz Ahmed as Nightmare the Corinthian, Taron Egerton as magical investigator John Constantine, Samantha Morton as Urania Blackwell, and Bibi Newirth as the Siamese cat, and then Gaiman himself, Neil Gaiman, is the narrator for that. So I think that's pretty cool. That's definitely something I'm going to go check out. It's available on Audible. I don't think it's ever released as a physical copy. I'm pretty sure that's something that's just like an audiobook only. So that's something that's pretty cool. So and Neil Gaiman says personally, he calls it the cast of your dreams. That's what he says. I mean, that's his saying. I mean, but it is pretty stacked. I mean, that is a dream cast, if you ask me. If you had all those appear in a movie, yes, please give me that right now. Take my money, serious. And that's about it for the DC fandom. I mean, the only other thing that I wanted to say is that the Jim Lee, his hands were all over this thing. So I think he's the the chief creative officer for DC Comics. He used to work for Marvel. I think he did some X-Men comics and some Iron Man comics, and then he moved over to DC after doing a series of his own independently, and then he moved over to DC, and then he's just done pretty much everything in DC, especially Batman. He's done a lot of Batman comics, and they even asked him how many times that he's drawn Batman before. I can't remember what his answer was. I think he said at least over 5,000 times or something like that. So that's a lot. That is definitely a lot. So yeah, and then my only other thing that I wish, like, if there's anything that I wish we could have seen from the DC fandom, is that I kind of hope that they would have talked a little more about the Flash movie, because there's a lot to this Flash movie. This past week, it was confirmed that Ben Affleck's going to be back as Bruce Wayne and Batman. He's going to don the cape and the cowl one more time in the Flash movie, and I hope that leads to some more roles as Batman. I hope that kind of excites him if he can get a great director that has a great story and some real love for the character and well, for DC characters in general and superheroes in general, that he can convince him to come back, because I would love to see more of Ben Affleck. I thought he was a great Batman. Probably, personally, my favorite Batman might be Ben Affleck. Like I wasn't super hot on him when when it was first announced that he was going to play Batman, but I mean, he did great. I mean, I'm pretty partial to Michael Keaton also, so between those two, those are my two favorite. And the other cool thing is that Michael Keaton's coming back, so he's going to reprise his role as Batman too. So it's going to be part of the multiverse that the Flash is going to be exploring in the movie. So I'm super excited to see that, and hopefully they do it justice and explain it in a way that pays tribute to the hardcore comic book fans, but also the people who really aren't that familiar with even what a multiverse is, and they can explain it in a way that really works well, so we can really get a good understanding and a good grasp on what that's all about. But anyways, that's your recap for the DC fandom. It's something that just blew me out of the water and makes me miss going to Comic Cons. I mean, I want to go back to Comic Cons big time. I was actually supposed to go to a Comic Con here in Seattle right before coronavirus hit, and they were going to have the entire cast of Back to the Future, and I got my own Marty McFly costume I was going to wear, complete with a hoverboard and the puffy jacket and the rainbow hat from Back to the Future 2. So I was super stoked to go meet Michael J. Fox and crew. I have met Christopher Lloyd. I have a picture with him, with me in my Marty McFly costume. He came to Salt Lake City Comic Con, so that was definitely a highlight of my life for me. But yeah, so yeah, that's it. So that's your DC fandom. So I'll just sign off, and I'll say stay sweaty and keep looking for more videos. We're definitely going to be posting videos once a week. We're going to be posting our main videos, Get Sweaty, every Wednesday, so watch for that. And then we hope to be to go live very, very soon. And I'm going to put a link to to our email in the description. So I think I want to say that it's mtssweaty@gmail.com, but I mean, I'm going to make sure I get it right for you in the description, so it'll be there because we encourage you. I'm going to tell you why the email is there. We encourage you to submit your questions of what you want to hear us talk about on our main Get Sweaty show. So you can submit your questions to the email in the description below, and and we're gonna pick some questions at random, and you never know, your question might get chosen, and we'll discuss one of your topics in depth. It won't be like a lot of shows where you submit a fan question and we'll spend 10 seconds giving you a quick answer. We're going to discuss it. It's going to be in depth. We're going to break it down. We're going to whatever you want to hear us talk about, and anything from books to movies to video games to just whatever floats your boat. We'll talk about anything. If you have just a random topic, we try and shy away from politics, so probably none of that. But I mean, anything else? I mean, we're down to talk about it. So yeah, definitely submit your questions. And for Jordan Anderson, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jordan83616. But even more so, I'm on Facebook. I spend a lot more time on Facebook. I'm a big contributor to the Media Sweaties group, so definitely check out the Media Sweaties group and join that group, because you'll get a lot of information onto a lot of really awesome, cool YouTube content creators that are part of this thing called the Movie Trivia Schmodown, and I encourage you to check that out too. We're going to try to talk more about that and what it's all about as well. And so yeah, I'm just trying to think if I'm forgetting anything. Oh, and if you want to find me on Facebook, I'm at Jordan Anderson 21, and then my other socials is Jordan 83616. So I'm saying it slow, Jordan 83616. So you can definitely get those numbers right. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna sign off. So stay sweaty.